So today's shloka is shloka number 10 from the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah bahavo jnana tapasa bhutamadbhavamagataah Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah bahavo jnana tapasa bhutamadbhavamagataah Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah Bahavo jnana tapasa bhutamadbhavamagataah. Please recite after me. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah Bahavo jnana tapasa bhutamadbhavamagataah Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah bahavo jnana tapasa bhutamadbhavamagataah Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah bahavo jnana tapasa bhutamadbhavamagataah Word for word meaning and translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vita, freed from raga, attachment, bhaya, fear, krodha, and anger, matmaya, fully in me, mam, in me, upashritaah, being fully situated, bahavaha, many, jnana, of knowledge, tapasa, by the penance, putaah, being purified, madbhavam, transcendental love for me, agataah, attained. Translation: being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. So here the Lord is telling Arjuna the criteria that has to be met to be fully attached to him. However, the process itself takes care of this for us. So we don't have to think, let me first get rid of my attachments, fear, and anger. Only then I can come to Krishna. That is true. You can only go back to Krishna once you're freed from this. However, one has to constantly be thinking about Krishna and chanting his holy names in order to become free from attachment, fear, and anger. What is this freedom from attachment? Most of us have attachments to some material desires. The quantity of material desires that we're attached to is going to be varying from Jivatma to Jivatma. So the first thing is that if we want to go back to the Supreme Lord, we must be completely free of material desires. So Krishna is saying the first freedom we have to achieve is freedom from attachment to all things material. The second criteria that the Lord is telling Arjuna that one has to meet is to be free from fear. Most of us are fearful of losing things or losing people or losing status quo. So there is always a fear in us that something is going to be taken away from us. And we worry about whether we will be able to handle that situation or not. So that causes fear. But here, actually, if you read the purport, freedom from fear, Srila Prabhupada explains, is there are a set of people or jivatmas who attribute anxieties and suffering to the possession of a physical body. And therefore, they become fearful of attaining a body at the time of moksha. Their preference is to be bodiless, because they have wrongly associated the physical body with suffering, and therefore they think they should not even acquire a spiritual body because that can also bring anxieties. That is wrong. So this being free from fear is actually the fear of achieving a spiritual form so that you can actually personally serve the Lord. So such kind of personalities are called impersonalists. They don't like the idea of taking a body after moksha. They prefer to be formless because they fear the form. They do not understand that the spiritual form is completely pure and is used in the spiritual universes to actually personally serve the Lord. The third thing that Krishna is advising Arjuna is that we must become free from anger. But how does this anger arise? So this anger is not just any anger. that you and I may experience. This anger stems from not having faith in anything, especially in modern day world, because of the advent of YouTube and Facebook. There are so many so-called options for spirituality. And you test it and try it out, and maybe you get disappointed. You feel you are cheated. And therefore, you become angry with all spiritual options that are available for you, with the spiritual paths that are available for you to go back home, back to Godhead. So it creates a frustration in you when you experience the calamity of paths that are not perfect. Because Srila Prabhupada says, we like to be cheated. Now you may say, how is it that we like to be cheated? Nobody in their right mind would want to be cheated. But Prabhupada has given so many simple examples. Just look at an advertisement that says, if you use this cream, your skin will become fair. Well, if the Lord wanted you to have fair skin, he would have given you the fair skin in the first place. So we are happy to be cheated, and we are happy to pay money to also be cheated. So for n number of cheaters, or for n number of people who want to be cheated, there are n number of cheaters in society, ready to take advantage of you. So when you are cheated like this repeatedly, it causes anger and frustration. So these are the three things that the Lord is asking us to become free from: becoming fully absorbed in him and taking refuge of him. And the Lord is saying, in this way, many, many Jivatmas in the past have become purified by simply knowing who is Krishna, his transcendental nature, and thus they achieve bhava, one of the highest forms of love for the Lord, the preliminary stage before you get complete pure love for the Lord. So this is what this shloka is all about. Sorry, it took me a little longer to explain it, because there is deeper meaning behind this attachment, fear, and anger.